Update screen, and it's taken a while. Josh just dropped out, everybody. Welcome to FastTrack Feedback Fridays. I'm your host, Chris Brendan, aka Kuriken. We got a couple of submissions from y'all. Thank you very much. I think right now we have 5, maybe 6 total. Enrique and Jason, shout out to them in the background. They are working things behind the scenes, making things run as smoothly as possible. I have my co-host right now. He is from the road. Josh has hit some traffic on the way back to Chicago on 4th of July weekend, looks like. But he's trying to, as you can see, and it might be a little bit of a struggle.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I just did like an intro.
Sweet. Yep. Welcome
what's up,
to
everybody?
Fast Track Feedback Fridays from the road edition.
Yeah. I'm good, dude. I got you. Let me make sure if I can pull up the chat real quick. Say what's up to anybody. No, it's all good. Without further ado, we will go ahead and just go to our list of songs. While I'm trying to load up the chat and everything. What's up, everybody? Say what's up in the chat. We love to see it. This first song is by J Jack. It's called Make It Right, and it's a work in progress. So he's saying this is a work in progress that I would love some feedback on. I am well aware of some of the sibilants, hence work in progress. Okay. And I am still debating if I should add another verse where I have a telephone filter over my voice. Thank you. I usually love that effect, so right away I'm thinking yes, but let's hear the man's song first. Josh, are you ready? You ready for J-Jack, Make It Right? All right. Well, I'm going to play J-Jack, Make It Right.
Yeah, this is Make It Right, right?
Yeah. And 3, 2, 1, play.
Let's go.
Let me know in the chat if it's coming through. And Jason Enrique as well.
I'm liking this already.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately... Looks like for some reason it's not working. I'm going to try again. All right, chat, how about now? Nick Cassatt, thank you. The Lamau's in the chat.
Yeah.
Did I fix it, y'all?
Yeah.
Let's see. So I mean, Josh, I had to stop it because the stream, it like stopped the audio for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, people in the chat, can you hear it? If not, I'll have to.
Wrong, right?
What's that? I don't know why it didn't work. Hello? Chat, can you hear us? Nah, maybe my phone is tweaking. Nah, I think it's us. Sometimes, dude, it happens. I don't know why. We try our best here, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Let's see. Jason, I don't think so. Thank you guys for helping me out here. I don't know why it's not working. I'm going to press play again. Let me know. Is it good? Nah. God damn it. All right. Well, you know how this is going to go. All right. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to put it on the starting screen. I apologize, guys. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. Thank you for
When you
that.
hit update,
Yeah, Josh is gonna go inside. I'm gonna play this real quick. Please let me. This looks like it's working. Chat, thank you for being supportive. How about now? Working. Thank God. All right, J Jack. Finally, I can listen to some music.
Baby, I really would have tried
It's like
to go and
jazzy,
make
dude.
it right.
thank you.
Cause I don't wanna fight. Yeah. But you blocked me out your life. And never told me why. You make me sick inside. Goodbye, you left me in the cold. And as you would drive by, had to cover me with snow. I gotta confide with the drugs up in my home. And I really despise all these evil ass hoes. It took time up on my own. But I finally realized what I did to make it wrong. Too many second chances, girl, we should have been romancing. On the stage, could have been dancing while I'm singing off my song. You think I'ma fade away, but you could save your hate for a rainy day. Look at my face, you could see the sunshine. When I look up in the sky, now the cloud is gray. Any problem, gotta find a way. Now if you're gonna do it, kinda hard to say. You gotta hurry, girl, you running out of time. Better go make up your mind, that's what mine, I'll be fine. Cause I really would've tried to go and make it right.
This is some sunny day shit. It's good.
But you blocked me out your life, and never told me why. You made me sick inside. I really would've tried.
Oh, okay, is this the new
Go make it right.
the verse he was talking about?
Cause I don't wanna fight. Yeah, but you blocked me out your life. And never told me why. You make me sick inside. I really would've tried to go and make it right. Cause I don't wanna fight. Yeah, but you blocked me out your life. And never told me why. You make me sick inside.
Dude, that was smooth as shit, man. J Jack, that was J Jack. Make it right. It is not finished, but damn, it's catchy, dude. That's one of those songs that you get the hook immediately, and you heard me like I was just trying to sing along. I was just along for the ride. That was like perfect Friday sunny summer day. Almost gave me like a Chance the Rapper type beat at least. Loved it. Thank you, J Jack. That was a vibe for sure. Let's see. So in terms of, so it looks like Josh is having some difficulty. So I'm going to just go ahead and go into our rating section. So we're doing some experiments with our rating scale here. The way that we do it here on FastTrack Feedback Friday so far is that we have detailed ratings. These 3 traffic lights on the left, vibes, how just like the overall feel, like first impressions, content, like for raps, for example, it's like lyrics, arrangement of the beat, the sounds of the beat, stuff like that. Production, that's where we get into the nitty gritty of mixing and mastering, recording, and all that jazz. And then for the overall track rating, we give it a total score, all the way from red, where we think a lot of things should be redone and revisited before it's released and ready for the public to listen to. Yellow for develop, where we think maybe it could take a second run around in terms of mixing and mastering, stuff like that, before it can really kind of get pushed to that ready to go level. And green, it's pretty much ready to go. There's probably an audience out there that definitely wants to hear your music, so you all should push it out there and put it to the public. And then if it's purple, that's one of those songs that really catches our ear the first time. It sounds like it's ready to be on these Spotify playlists, and we say go. And in fact, we have a Spotify playlist. We have 2 actually. But yeah, we put the top tier tracks in this top tier Spotify playlist. But also, if you submit with us, and if it's a release, we can find it on Spotify, SoundCloud, or YouTube. We'll put it on that playlist as well. So yeah, we would love to hear everybody's submissions. So in terms of J Jack, Make It Right, Not Finished. First of all, for the vibes, man, I was vibing to it the whole time. So to me, that's kind of a green. Like I think you have a uh, great start here to a song. You said it's not finished, and there is some production stuff that I agree that it's not finished yet. But in terms of overall concept and just the feeling of that song, you heard me try to sing along during the song. Like that's kind of rare. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't have any complaints there. For content now, in terms of lyrics and arrangement, the beat. I don't know who produced it, J Jack. If you did it, or if one of your friends did, or if you found it online. But that was a really, really nice beat. The piano, everything, the bass, it just has this little hop to it, like dun, 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 dun. It's just good. That's kind of like a vibe comment too. But yeah, it just matches everything with your voice and um, with the content. It was kind of funny. I think I heard some maybe like some bitterness in there. I think I heard something about "Don't trust these hoes" or something. But it's also like da 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 da. Da. But it's about like from what I got from it, it was like self love and keep going and don't get distracted by the detractors in your life. So yeah, in terms of production, now this is the kind of main thing, and he knows it too. Like he submitted to it, and he gave us a note saying it's not finished yet because of the sibilance. And actually, so sibilance is typically it's that really high pitch frequency noise that you hear with T sounds and S sounds when it goes like. Those frequencies really bite through the recording equipment. Then they get pumped up through the software that you're putting, either like a compressor or a limiter, and they really like kind of sound grating and harmful to your eardrums. So I didn't actually hear too much of that problem. What I did hear, I think, in terms of production, is just the vocal chain, just the chain of what is it, virtual instruments or audio equipment like compressors, for example, that are applied to your vocal chain to make it sound, more crisp, more clear, and kind of sitting in the mix together. I don't think this was fully mastered yet as well, which makes sense at this process. I think that you're currently trying to mix it right now, judging by your comments. Yeah, so I'd love to hear this once it's done. In case you, wouldn't know of like the standard vocal chain, if I could make recommendations, you want to EQ some of the low end off first. You don't really need any of that in the vocal. And then you want to put like a de-esser, try to find the frequencies where you can see exactly where those harsh frequencies are poking through the mix. You could take an EQ band, make it really skinny, and then just scroll through that spectrum and then find that really harsh kind of, you'll hear like a ring or a ping every time you hit like a T or an S, and focus on that frequency, put a de-esser around that frequency, and then put a compressor on it as well. There's a lot of other stuff that you can do, but those are the kind of bare bones things that you should be doing. Putting a compressor, it just kind of makes the quieters less quiet and the louds less loud. It brings everything kind of together, compresses the dynamic range, and then you can play with that and the balance of your vocals and your beat volume. And then you could do some EQ tricks to make kind of the beat. What I like to do is, as a rapper who puts his vocals over beats as well, you kind of find the frequency sweet spot of your voice, like where it sounds the strongest and where you can hear, for me, the most words and lyrics. You kind of duck the beat where that strong EQ range for your vocals is. That way they can kind of fit in together pretty nicely. You have like the beat kind of surrounding your vocals, and your vocals fit right in. It doesn't sound like your vocals are just sitting on top. But yeah, so production, obviously, I think there needs to be some work. And then maybe, like, I could tell you could carry a tune, man, and you can sing it well. Your flow is great. But I do want to hear a little bit of more confidence on some of those higher notes. And I'm here to say right now that you can hit it, right? Like I can hear it. So just be a little more confident. And, if you decide to do other takes, I really want you to belt it. Just yell that shit. Because I was singing along, man. So that was awesome. So production for me would be a yellow. And Yeah, it looks like Josh is still having trouble. So yeah, J-Jack, thank you very much. The track total, I think it needs to be developed right now. It's in a yellow for me, but I think you are in the works for something good. And this is like right up my alley. My alley. I love this kind of music, and I think you have a knack for melody, and for flow. So that's a great formula. Yeah, if you take any of this advice, and then apply it to your next mix, we'd love to hear it again. So thank you very much. That was J Jack with Make It Right, Not Finished. No, it's just Make It Right. Thank you very much. And we got our boy Nate Cassatt next on deck. So he's giving us this United Masters. Now, I might want to ask him sometimes. I don't know if he's still in the chat. He's homies in Denmark right now. I think he said it was like last time I talked to him like 11 p.m. So kudos to you, bro, if you're still staying up and waiting to listen. So thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, we got some chat too. Let's see. Hakuna Matata, all part of the process. Hell yeah. I don't know if I should be happy or sad listening to this. I know, right? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, the lyrics, it was a nice contrast. All right, but run it back. Let's see what Nate has said for us here. He said, I already demoed this song for y'all, I remember. Then all of your song files were deleted, so I had to start from scratch. That sucks, man. That sucks because as an artist, you only get so inspired and so excited to do something once. And then you do, the really fun part, the writing, the recording, and then you do like the kind of, at least for me, it's like a slog of mixing and engineering it, sounding it, making it sound really good. And then to have it all deleted, oh, that sucks. This song is about disappointment. That's pretty fitting. And attempting to find pride, even though it seems impossible. Yeah. Also, just dope bars. There's a music video too on my YouTube. Well, bro, why don't you link us the YouTube? Okay, it's okay. He did link us the YouTube. We good. He said run it back. Yeah, run it back. All right. So Nate Cassatt, if you're still in the chat, bro, thank you very much. Let me go ahead and put this in the right tab. Oh, Josh has come back in the green room. Yes, I can. Josh. Yeah. I'll have to add you back in the scene. Just a second. Yeah, just a second, people. If you guys definitely can't hear, but our boy Josh has come back, and I have to put him back in. Let me just update it real quick.
Put me back in,
Josh.
coach.
Yeah. Go ahead and. Did you listen to the song at all? Do you have any thoughts? We're gonna move on to the next one, but if you had any final thoughts about J-Jax.
No, I mean, I heard the first like 30 seconds before we both had glitches there, some LMAO moments, and it sounded really good, but I haven't gotten to hear all of it. Chris, okay. I think my video is in front of the overlay instead of behind it.
Yeah, I just fixed that. I just wanted to fill the void a little bit. But yeah, we got Josh. Yeah. We're gonna move on to Nate's right now, so run it back.
Let's go.
You got it?
Yep.
All right, so this is Nate Cassatt. Without further ado, run it back. Yo. Damn it, dude. Sorry, Josh. I just got a message from Jason saying you can't hear on the stream. It keeps changing, which is it's frustrating. Just a second, y'all. Let's see. I don't know why we haven't had this problem before. Run it back. Stop. Let me see if I can do this. If I do this anymore, I should be really good at it because this happens like all the fucking time. Let's see. Screen share. Browser screen. Nope. Damn, man, this really, it kind of blows.
You can add the browser source and check audio and then delete the visual part, and the browser source audio should be there.
No, I know. I'm doing that. It's just not working. And the Lightstream platform, it just, it literally crashed on me. It says it's unresponsive. So,
it's weird.
Yeah, I might have to refresh, but I don't know what that's going to do to the stream.
You can refresh the page and it still keeps the stream up.
Right. I mean, so just as a warning to everybody watching, if people are still watching, when I do refresh, sometimes it doesn't work the right way, and we might like go down for a little bit. So just a fair warning. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. See you on the other side.
As far as I can tell, I think we're still on the air. I think Chris is just in the airwaves right now. But yeah, it's just been a little bit of a struggle because we're kind of back and forth between places. I've been between Champaign and Chicago like almost every week. So I just got back home right now at the studio, as you can see, and we're kind of switching between who's running the stream and that kind of thing. A lot of moving parts with the audio and screen sharing and guests in the room and all that stuff. So hopefully Chris should be back on in a second in the Lightstream editor. Oh, okay. It says we're live.
Yeah, I know.
Chris is back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Although Hello? He's not in the green room yet, so we can't hear him.
Oh, I think the stream can hear me, which is awkward, but Josh...
Can you hear us, Chris? You might have to add yourself to the green room.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing that right now.
There we go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Alrighty. So we back. Thanks for the patience, y'all. It's literally not been this picky before. I don't know why it's this finicky. But we working with it. We rolling with it. What else can we do? All right. So we got it pulled up here. All I got to do is just update the live view stream. And if things go right, it's about the repercussions of this. Can you guys hear that? All good on stream? All right. This is Nate Cassatt running back. We're going to go again. Yo. Nate Cassatt.
Nate Cassatt.
I've been stressing about the repercussions of discussions I have yet to have. Yeah, I like that.
Joey Badass vibes. Already.
Yeah. I've been stressing about the repercussions of discussions I have yet to have. I'm seeing it, my eyes are pointed at future gaps, and because I'm clumsy, I'll probably fall into that. As gravity is grabbing me, my dreams fade to black. The scene of left potential, no eventual. It's sensible that this will probably end before I finish something plentiful. Give my everything, and all I hope is it's reciprocal. I'm in my prime, and my pride is non-divisible. Here we go, blowing out this engine smoke like I'm fucking training by changing my location and lighting up. Top the placement, I'm adjacent to a state of fly as fuck. On occasion, I'm a saint, how I'm faded, high on the looks. Like the Bible, this my book. In a chapter about the pain, going back to back like a Midas. My mind is Golden State. What I lack is the direction, but I'm headed anyway.
Mine is Golden State. Let's go. These bars, dude.
I'll run away, even though I'm fast. Cause I'll be running laps and I'll catch up to my past. And I'll try to stay, my brain ain't having that. They tell me fuck this place, body switch the habitat. I'll run away, even though I'm fast. Cause I'll be running laps and I'll catch up to my past. And I try to stay, fight myself back. Maybe today if I go I'll come back. What you wanna hear? A lonely story or the pouring of these dry tears? I fear that I'm storing them and one day I'ma detonate instead of trading more for less of care. I don't care, I wanna keep it there. Or I might say fuck it and go radical like Bernie. I'm a national attorney like my word is law. Faster with the worry than the flash around the track and act of God. But religion never stuck to me like tack attack abroad. Cause I'm tactical as cod and my KD is Titanic. What else am I tacking on you? Stay strapped to get clapped like applause. Affected by my cause, defective and beyond. I'm protecting all that's left of me at any fucking cost. I bought my soul back, or so I thought. I tried to hold on, now I'm gone. I'll run away, even though I'm fast. Cause I'll be running laps and I'll catch up to my past. And I'll try to stay, my brain ain't having that. They tell me fuck this place, body switch the habitat. I'll run away, even though I'm fast. Cause I'll be running laps and I'll catch up to my past. And I try to stay, fight myself back. This is the part where I tell you I'm sorry for all of the sorrow I sowed in your heartstrings. I'm sorry, but hardly. And I'm sorry for that too. Yeah. I'm sorry for that too.
I'm sorry, but
Well,
hardly.
some bitch, he done did it again.
He done did it again. Yeehaw!
That's right.
You can hear him like do the act and then already get tired of it. He's like, okay. All right. That was Nate Cassatt running back. Holy shit.
Wow.
Sorry, the next song started playing for me. Yeah, that was fucking dope. No beating around the bush there. Homie is jacked, bro. You looking good, dude. Doing good workouts. Whatever it is working. All right, Josh, what do you think?
Shit, man, that was dope. It sounded really good. It was a great groove, and to me, I didn't notice any glaring issues with production or anything either.
No, it sounded fucking solid.
Had bars. The video was fun. It was good.
Dude, yeah, the fucking bars. It's hard to like. I wanted to like shout out the bar as it was going, but then I was like, then I won't hear the next bar. Like it just kept coming, and like yeah, one of them was like it was something about numbers in my prime. It's not divisible or something. Like, dude, that was fucking sick. And then it was like my touch is Midas. My mind is Golden State or something. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. I think last time I was like oogling over the bars too, but I think these are new. At least the ones that I caught on this turnaround. But yeah, dude, that was pretty sweet. Vibes. Like the very beginning, I thought you brought in a raspy kind of aggressiveness too. It reminded me of like Joey Badass, like Christ conscious kind of shit. That's my lane, dude. That's really dope. Yeah, that's a green for me for vibes.
Yeah. Do you want to go through all of them, or?
Yeah, that's what we do.
So green for vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that goes for content too. I don't know if Josh, you're here for the explanation, but he said that he did send this to us a while back as a work in progress. But apparently all of his files got deleted, which really sucks. So he had to do all this shit again.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I think this time around, I think we commented about, at least I remember, maybe like the vocal balancing with the beat. And now it sounds super crisp, super clear. Like I don't have any complaints. The bars, they were always there. The beat, I love it. Yeah. I think this is a green for me. There's nothing that I have to say about content. It's good. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, and then did you do your production one?
Oh, production. Okay, I'm doing all three.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Sometimes. Okay, so production. I think everything was really solid. Yeah, I don't think I have any glaring things. I think at this point it's just maybe what's it called? Not perspective, subjective opinion. Maybe just for the doubles, I would like it to be a little like the reverb was maybe a little bit too much low end for me. Maybe I wanted to just, if I were working on it, I would just like cut out the low end of the reverb and the doubles. Maybe gave it a little bit of mud, but other than that, dude, no, like this is solid as shit. I'd bump this. I think it's ready to go. I think that's a green for me. Yeah. What about you, Josh? What's your three?
I would give the vibes definitely a green. This shit's fun. The vibes in the video are good, but obviously it's got bars.
Yeah, share your workout plan, bro. Fuck. Some of us trying to get there, dude.
Yeah, vibes are jacked.
Vibes are jacked. Yeah, content's ripped.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a green for me. And then content, like I said, just written well, put together well. That's a green. Production, I mean, the fucking beat sounds so good. Like everything just fits. It's got a really nice low end that's not like overbearing. Yep. And the only thing that I could think of again was sort of like with the doubles, the vocal doubles at some points.
Yeah.
Sounded just a little bit, I don't know if it was like inconsistent or I think there were just some vocal inconsistencies throughout where I sort of would like think maybe even just like, dare I say, little bit more compression, or not necessarily just more compression, but like the compression in certain places. I don't know. Some points when it feels like maybe he's a little bit farther from the mic or something, and then points where he's closer, and it's sort of a subjective thing. But there were just a couple of spots where the vocal doubles sounded a little bit off to me, but most of it was great.
That show's fire.
Yeah, I would give it a chartreuse for production, or like very close to green. There are just a couple of things I think could be worked on, but other than that, I mean, mostly there, 95% there.
Yeah, that's great. For people who don't know, chartreuse is between yellow and green.
Yes.
Yeah. So track total, dude. I'm a hip hop head. I think I'd add this to the playlist. For me, I think it's purple. What do you think?
I almost feel like I want to listen to it again almost. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, but I mean, I want to listen to it again because we've sort of been in this setting shit up mode, and I wasn't as focused as I'd like to be.
Dude.
Man, but it's close. I mean, I want to hear. This is on YouTube too, and I never trust YouTube's audio versus what it actually sounds like on stream platforms. Fuck, I like the vibes a lot, and because he sent this to us before, and he's like re-recorded it and worked on it and stuff, I think I would give it a top tier track.
Big Purple, no, Nate Cassat is in it. Nate, I don't know if you went to bed because you're in Denmark, bro, but you are in it. Oh shoot, the chat is,
win it.
They're sending us SoundCloud links in the chat. There's a forum for that. Sorry, I gave you the wrong impression, Yala Abram. Check the link. I think it's on our overlay. Submit your songs over there. But yeah, no, Nate Cassat, you have made it, bro. You are in the top tier tracks of FastTrack Feedback Fridays. That's bars right there. That's flow right there. That's all we want. That's all we need. And actually, Nate Cassat's got another song. But congratulations, dude. The hard work paid off, man. I think you made a really dope song. And dude, the flows are sick. Your voice is like raspy, like Joey Badass type. I love that shit. So thank you for the submission. And we'll go ahead and just go right into his next track. Oh, I did the tracks out of order. Fuck me. Nate Cassat, Reality. So do you want to go to that one, Josh?
Let's do it.
All right. So let me go ahead and paste it real quick. And I can give you guys the rundown, little story that he sent us. He said, this song is about reflecting on my past pain. Oh, it's playing already. Excuse me.
Same here.
This song is about reflecting on my past pain to understand why I'm fearful of the future. Why, bro? Your future looks bright. First verse is about the past. Bridge is an interesting concept from a random YouTube vid, lol. Second verse is the future. Alrighty. This is a work in progress. So let's, 9 hours ago. Let's give him some good advice and let's listen good. But you ready, Josh?
Let's go.
Nate Cassat, Reality. 3, 2, 1.
Look, I'm talking to a memory and interview. I enter you to see an interview. In the booth, John Wilkes would assume that I kill it too. And I really do.
John Wilkes.
I don't know what fate is, but I'm faded as a patient. And I'm making the creation. Make it way too complicated. I'm the same as when I'm painting, when I'm praying for my folks. I don't go to church, but I used to though. Oh. Now my sermon is serve with a serve and a smoke. Is there a God? I don't know, but I don't know enough. Pushed to the cusp of a touch like a cufflink gust in the fabric of what my reality is of. Got me stranded and covering up. You're one of us, you should understand it. I'm such of a fuck and a fuck up again. Shut the fuck up, I know, so I close in advance. Nobody home in my heart when I stand over my own when it's only a band. In a band kid who never joined band, but I managed. Claimed the piano and sang with the keys. Rap on the beach, just a piece of my canvas. God damn it.
Now, having been inside this building essentially since birth, for reasons and a backstory they would not even understand, these infants, now turned adults, know only the images and videos selected and projected by their captors onto the screens.
I'm deep in the darkest seas, seated apart my needs.
That transition.
Breathe in the ocean I drink, tapping it clean like a sink. Either I float or I sink, neither is known, but I think I'ma blink and I'll wake up, dream of a scene just green, no blue on my day once. Hop on a fleet, fleeing the home that I breach. Each of their own, so they leave me alone, and I see them each go. They ain't seeing me though, like a demon, a ghost with a legion of smoke and allegiance to nobody. So what I'm free and I mean it, I don't need a reason to grow. Trees in my feet and the seed is my own. Reach for the beach like a vacay home, and I see my own. I don't know that I rose, and I pedal my irrelevance. Put the pedal to
Rose
the
pedal.
metal. I ain't never win a medal in wrestling. Done at 18, now that I'm 20, it's half my life. I had imagined I would be a national champion and an Olympic contender. I'm manic or something. I never lived up to my standards for nothing. I'm damaged, goddammit, I can't seem to function above them. Fuck it, I'ma bust it open, then I'll let it go.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's fire.
That's super cool. Very slow-mo here.
Yeah. Oh, dude, those beat dropouts that was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bro, Nate, I think I want to hear that sooner though. If this is still a work in progress, like, dude, when you put the energy rode up, like, of the whole track, the beat started dropping out, and then your lyrical content was like, fuck it, I'm a failure, like, fuck it, I should have been there already. Like, that shit was, that was good. That was Nate Cassatt, Reality, I'm a loss for words. Josh, what do you think? You want to go first this time?
Sure, yeah. That was cool.
There's also bars there. I try to catch him while they're happening. He's like something caught in the booth like John Wilkes or something.
Yeah, there were some good ones in there. I thought overall, like, there was more that really caught the ear in the other track. And there were a few things, like, immediately the doubling again was the thing that sort of stuck out to me a little bit here.
Yep.
The main thing might have just been that they both were not EQ'd, like they had too much low mid or whatever.
Yeah.
It was kind of heavy down there. That was kind of the main thing. And then also, like, the end there, I'm not sure if it's totally finished or not yet, but there were some clicks and pops, which is like basic audio editing stuff that was happening at the end.
In the slow-mo section?
Around there, and then afterwards there was like that bigger dropout, which you can kind of see on the waveform there. Yep. There were some very, very audible clicks and pops that you just need to fade out on the actual audio regions. Which is pretty easy to do, but yeah, you don't want to have clicks or pops. That can fuck with like speaker systems too if it's being played loud enough. Don't want to have those. But and then also the slow-mo section at the end. I know I've heard a lot of, I know what you're trying to do. I've heard a lot of good slow-mo sections, but something needs to be changed with like the EQing there or something, because it just sounds muddy. That's that slow-mo part, which is expected when you slow something down. It's going to be lower frequency, but the whole thing was like under a blanket, and it was just like I couldn't really hear what was going on.
You think other than that, the highs and the EQ, maybe give it a little gloss would have been a little.
Yeah, EQing.
Okay.
Taking out some mids, putting in some highs, using an exciter. Maybe
exciter. That's true.
You could, you could use an exciter. You could use an expander, maybe, because I don't know. I couldn't really hear the transients very well of like that snare thing, and there was some weird clicking, popping stuff I thought in that part too. But it might just be that it's in progress still, and there's some editing work to be done there.
Yeah. Nate Cassatt's in the chat. He says, no time for bed, all celebrations. It's fucking late over there. He's at Denmark right now. So, I mean, you went to did you just kind of hit all of them? Or it seems like you kind of zeroed in on production first, which, I mean, that's your ear. But in terms of going by the traffic lights, like, what do you think? Yeah,
I mean, I think at the beginning I briefly just mentioned, like, vibe. Yeah, it's always fucking dope with Nate's stuff. Liked it a lot.
Storytelling.
Content. Yeah, content also was very good. I liked the first one a little bit better in terms of content, but still super good. I would say green on the vibes again. Content also like roughly green. Nothing wrong with it. I just like the first one a little bit more. And then production is probably a yellow for those reasons.
Yeah. In terms of vibes, I think it's green as well. And dude, like, the vocals sound really good. Like I mean, this is what I do too. I rap over beats and I try to mix them and try to make them sound like they're a part of the song. Like they're not just sitting on top of them. You've done a really good job of that, man. I could tell you improved. Like that's really dope.
Yeah.
Vibes. Like again, I'm getting this is like boom bap era, fucking pro era type shit. Um, Storytelling about your life, which is cool, and then you drop in like some references. These flows are going all over the place. It's really enjoyable to listen to. Um, let's see. So yeah, so I mean, vibes. I think is green. Content. So now it's like a little. I got for the most part, it's really really good. I don't know why you're doing the slow mo section at the end, anyways. I like you saw me get hyped up at that last part, dude. Like I wanted to hear more, and then you dropped off. Unless that was like your plan, but if I heard that build up earlier in the song, that would hook me. That would have hooked me for the whole song, and like that was my favorite part. Because dude, the beat dropouts were crazy, and it was going with what you were saying, which is like hard to do. First of all, but then your performance was matching that. Like you were getting more and more like, oh, am I crazy? Am I manic? You know, like I'm a failure, or whatever. I thought I would have been further. Like that was super cool, and I want to hear that in the beginning. I don't know if that's future or past. You're saying that the second half was future, but that sounded more like a past kind of thing. So maybe in terms of arrangement, you know, that's what I would say. Like put that fucking that earworm type shit in the front, so we can so the people that you know are kind of iffy on the fence for you, that they'll really stick by for the rest of the song when they hear something like that, because that was different. That was cool. It caught both of our ears, and it's at the end of the song, which is a shame, you know.
Yeah,
So if this is like a sorry, what's up?
I was just gonna say, like, I sort of agree, but I'm sort of conflicted with that too. Like, because I could see why he would make it that way. Like, oftentimes the sort of story arc or whatever, you know, the climax is usually
Yeah.
three quarters or like towards the end, and then and I sort of think it makes sense in a way, but I just think that the execution of the transition from that to the slow mo part was like there's a little bit of like a hesitation almost that makes it less dramatic overall. Like it sort of feels like it stops rather than like it takes you from this high energy level to this surprise low, you know, slow thing or whatever, and takes you out, which might make you want to listen again. And but I think it was just like that part was such a short instance of the song, and it was right at the end of the main section or whatever, and then it takes you out into the really quieter, low energy part. So I could also see why, like, at least doing that like cool stuttering effect thing closer to the beginning, like before you go into a higher energy section, would potentially make a lot of sense. But I could also maybe see why you structured it the way you did. So,
and also he gives us some insight in the chat. He says, "I had an intro, but it was deleted, so I just gotta redo it." Bro, what happened? What happened to your stuff? That sucks. I mean, you saw us have technical difficulties, so you know we're all human. But yeah, man, what happened, dude? That sucks. Don't let that happen again. What you're working on is really cool, man. I really dig it. Homie's wearing Crocs in his picture, by the way. They're camo Crocs. But they look fly even though you can't see them. But
just
yeah,
keeps getting better every time.
Yeah. Yeah, you're improving, man. It's awesome. So yeah, for me, if I was talking about content, just in terms of rearranging things, you know, most of the stuff I think is pretty green. Arrangement, you know, this is our feedback. You know, you don't have to take it. It might fit well with your outro, what you plan. So take it or leave it. But yeah, for me, it's like in between green and yellow. We call it chartreuse over here. And production, I think it's also between green and yellow. And I think it's the same kind of issue that I heard before, which, like I said, it's kind of a personal preference. And I think what it might be, I don't know if you're doing this already, but when I like to do doubles for my vocals, what I do is I record like my main vocals in the center. Your main vocal sounds solid, by the way, really good. Up front, I can hear everything. And for the double vocals, I actually do two different takes, and I pan one all the way to the left and pan one all the way to the right, and it kind of gives a space, lets the main vocal breathe, but then gives like a nice spacing to the whole the track. And I think what I'm hearing is the double is also just on top of the main vocal. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's like the first thing that I thought of. So maybe you can look into that, or you can do just one double take and then put like a stereo delay effect. Put the delay a tad bit different on the left than the right delay, and then that'll give an effect that you'll have like the double vocal kind of in both ears at once. That might help give it a little more room. And then again, maybe rolling off the low end a little bit higher than you would the main vocal for the doubles. That way you don't build up on the mud. That might be contributing to what we're hearing. But yeah, everything else was really solid. You have good choice in beats. So I think that's like in between the yellow to green for me. And for my overall track total, I think it's yellow to green as well. I want to hear the outro, bro, and I can't wait till you release this. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a fan, bro. I'm gonna have to check out the rest of your stuff. I haven't checked your stuff out in a while. So, what do you think, Josh?
Yeah, same for me. And that was a good tip about doubles. It's just like you really have to have a center vocal most of the time and then ones on the sides, unless you have a whole chorus or something, a whole section that is doubled. And you can do the doubles really close to each other, really similarly to each other. If they're too different and they're panned to two sides, it's going to drag the person's ear from left to right, and it's not going to be what you're trying to do. But if you can do, like, somebody like Kurt Cobain or whatever was known for being really good at singing exactly the same way for every time they would do doubles. And so they could do like one on each side or two on each side without a vocal pan to the center, and it would sound like it's centered, but also like stereo, like wide. So the delay trick is definitely one that you can do to get like a super consistent doubled type thing. That's a good idea. Or just having one vocal in the center and then however many you want on each side.
Ooh,
But
that's
yeah,
a good tip about making sure the performance is exactly the same. I think, like, I'm working on a project right now. I think that's the problem that I have. So I'm
yeah.
gonna go take that tip and put it in.
I hear
Thank you,
that.
Fast Track.
I hear that all the time. Like people trying to double stuff and wondering why it doesn't sound right. A lot of the time, it's because you need to have the takes be really similar to each other, or else it kind of breaks the illusion.
Got you. And Nate Cassatt, with the extra advice, he has a backup hard drive now, so it seems like it was a hard drive failure.
Nice,
But yeah, dude. So for
smart.
me, that's in between yellow and green. I'm
Same
a
here.
fan of it, and you have to do with it. You said you were working on mastering it as well, so dude, when that comes out, let us know. He said he's planning it for a couple weeks, so we're excited about that. That's awesome. But that was Nate Cassatt. Reality.
Reality? Yes.
Reality. Is it real? We'll go to the next track. It's by Emily, the stream favorite, of course. We saw her live, actually, I think a couple weeks ago now, right, Josh?
Sure did.
It was pretty awesome. Out in Champaign. Let's see. Open Spotify. No, I do not want to open Spotify. Okay. Just a second. Okay. So this is off. I think this is her debut EP, right? This Living Room one. Love the album,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And the one that we added was Living Room, actually. The title track.
Oh shit.
What's up?
I just realized that so the song that she sent us, someone which has the accidentals on it is supposed to. I think there's a string thing on this that's supposed to be cool.
Yep. So she said this was the track I was most excited about on my debut EP. I've been a massive fan of the Accidentals, what Josh was saying, for a few years. So having them on one of my songs was unreal, and that is super crazy. Josh, do you know about the Accidentals so you could tell people who they are? Because I have no idea.
I don't, but I was gonna Google
it. Caught, exposed. See, we're not that.
Sorry, I don't know violin music. My violin music repertoire is not very big.
So we do know that they're violin players. And the fact that, Emily is performing and releasing and collaborating with her idols, that's pretty awesome.
The Accidentals are an American band formed in Traverse City, Michigan in 2012.
Sheesh.
Features an eclectic blend of indie pop, indie folk pop, bluegrass, rock, classical, and other genres. Cool.
Damn.
They have released 3 full-length albums, 1 EP, and 2 live albums. So they are established. They're like legit. They have a Google page.
Dang, Emily. How did you get in contact with them, dude?
They have a Wikipedia.
Whew. Emily, how? Let us know. Can I get Lil Uzi Vert on one of my songs? Let us know. Let me know. But okay, that's enough of that. We have someone, Emily, the Accidentals. Josh, you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
What does it mean to be someone like me? And why can't you believe
I'm gonna be a few seconds behind. It's not letting me play in the browser.
to do with
Cool.
someone like you? Someone like you made someone like me believe that something could grow out of the dust. Swore with your pinky finger light slow, I can't linger till you figure out a way to love someone like you. You, and all that's on my mind are tears welling in your eyes as you swore that you felt fine, and my throat contracts.
This percussion's cool.
As I sort this pile of memories into dead dreams and facts, 'cause someone like you made someone like me believe that something could grow out of the dust.
The Accidentals.
Swore with your pinky finger light slow, I can't linger till you figure out a way to love someone like you. You were never imaged good, selfish, but I wish you could find a place for me among your insecurities, and I can't wait around for you to find your solid ground, praying to whatever that my arms could make it better. When someone like you made someone like me believe that something could grow out of the dust. Swore with your pinky finger light slow, I can't linger till you figure out a way to love someone like you. You,
Oh damn! It goes into the next song like pretty seamlessly.
Mine's still playing a little bit.
Sorry. I'll let you finish.
You're good.
Let's see. Everyone sees that I like the song because I'm adding that to my library. Emily, good job. Josh, are you done yet? Okay.
Just about. Yeah, you can.
Ooh, that was Someone by Emily and the Accidentals. What an adventure that was. That was cool, man. Emily, this is your first album or EP. I'm jealous, dude. It sounded really, really good. And as you can see, it's an injustice. I haven't listened to the rest of it, but I need to do that ASAP. Because I have a feeling that I'll like every single one and add it to my personal library. That was awesome. And also, I don't know if you're in the chat right now. We'll have to hit you up later. Nate Cassatt thinks it's beautiful too. I have to agree with him. Yeah, that was awesome. Josh, what do you think?
That was really cool. Man, I always just, with so many of these, I'm just like, all right, that's the first pass. Now I want to listen to it again and like dig even deeper into it. Yep. But yeah, I mean, it's, I don't even know how to describe that. It's like cinematic, which I guess makes sense because there's strings in it. But yeah, just such a cool vibe, like such an interesting energy to it. And it has a hook to it also. It's like, it's cinematic, but it's also catchy. That's an earworm that's stuck in my head right now.
Yep, singing it right now.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I need to see how that grows on me. If the earworm sticks, I have a feeling it might. But yeah, I liked it a lot. The only thing that I like, it could just be what I'm hearing right now or whatever. I'm not going through a particularly high
Yep.
end headphone amp at the moment, but
Mhm.
like the very end part, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of instruments that are kind of trying to all work together at the same time in the same space.
Yep.
And there was a little bit where I was like, there was a little bit of clashing, but that's like a hard thing to work with. And I know a lot of like big artists that have really busy sections of songs that also are, it's just harder to make out all the individual instruments. So there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but I'd kind of want to, give, if I were really giving feedback on this, like really detailed feedback, I would
Yeah.
definitely listen to it a few times to sort of identify those things more in depth. But at first listen, the vibes are there. The vibes are definitely a green for me, like absolutely green. Um, the content also, I didn't get to listen to the lyrics super in depth. So I was sort of focusing on the whole vibe. But yeah, I think that's also a green. It's got a good hook, and the production is like very close to green. It would round to green for me.
Yep.
What do you think, Chris?
Yes, I agree. So what is it? Vibes. It's beautiful. The performances that you guys done, amazing. Like when the strings first came in, you saw me like putting my hands up to God, dude. I was like, oh my fuck, this is so good. What I really enjoyed, I don't know if Kami's on this one as well, the terms of the instrumental. But the cinematic kind of drums, the rim clicks, like I love that. That's super cool.
Yeah,
What
it's cool.
I wanted it to build up to like another like big old rock drum set breakdown kind of thing, like with Living Room. But I didn't get that. But that's okay. The vibes were still really really good. Um, I really liked what you did with the ukulele in the beginning. I couldn't tell where it was panned or if it was moving around or if it was just a stereo effect, but it was just really nice to listen to. It was a simple arpeggio, but it sounded, like I was just captivated by it because I don't know what you were doing with the production, but it was really awesome. Vocal performance as good as usual. Lyrics, um, I honestly didn't pay attention too much to it, but it sounded really good as a first pass, and there's nothing outwardly like there was no struggle bars, as I like to say as a rapper. Like there wasn't something weird that throws everything off. So it sounded really good. Um, yeah, vibes for me is a total green. Content also for me is a total green. The accidentals on here sound super great. I think me and Josh have a similar kind of view on the section that he's talking about where it gets like a lot of things are happening, and particularly there's I think a cello playing with a top line, either viola or violin. I'm not sure. I can't identify the sound, but there's definitely like a low end violin strings instrument going on with a higher end strings instrument. Um, but yeah, in terms of content specifically, that's a green too. Like, good job. And then production. This is where me and Josh are always like really nitpicky because you have to be in production.
It's the
That's
hardest
it.
part to like fool people at, sort of. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if they don't identify it consciously, subconsciously, it's like the seasoning on your dish or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. So the impression for the production that I had the whole time, it's a class act. I think I was really really solid.
Yeah.
It had me going the whole time, and then there's a section with the cello and I think it's a cello. It might be a bass. The lower end string instrument and the higher end string instrument. They're going
Sure.
around. The higher one sounded good, production wise. The lower one, I think there was maybe a little bit too much, either low end or kind of mud region, low mid. And it was, if I was an engineer on that project, I would try to find that really, really kind of obscuring frequency that's like poking out of the speaker. That's what it sounded like to me, and just kind of duck that a little bit. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed listening to it still. That's the only thing that really stuck out for me for production. So for me, that's between a yellow to a green, and maybe it's the system that I'm listening on. I'm trying to listen with balanced, kind of flat response headphones, but that's what I heard. So yeah, it's between yellow and green for me. Yeah, what do you think, Josh? Overall track rating?
Yeah, I was also going to say, I mean, I felt the same thinking back on it. Like, the one thing that sort of caught my ear just a little bit was something with like, there was a bass in there.
Yeah.
There's just something about it that like didn't quite integrate as well into the mix as the other stuff.
Hmm.
Um, overall it sounds fine, but that was just the one thing where it's like, oh, like what is that? Like what's that bass doing in there? And it can be a little bit distracting if it doesn't totally meld into the low end and the the song itself.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of track total, this is tough because it's so unique, and you don't always hear tracks like this especially from people that are like that
from your first debut EP. Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
good.
It's so cool. But I don't know. There's just like those one or two things that I feel like could be taken up to a sort of next level to make it like truly radio ready.
Yeah.
I sort of want to give it a green, probably, because it's so
solid.
good.
It's
but
solid.
there's just one or two things I think that could be worked on.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so solid, though.
yeah, and that's the thing with our rating scales. It's all subjective.
It's like it's easy to be like, we love this song, we love this song, we love every song, we want to add all of them.
And you saw me add it to my personal playlist live. Like, it's staying there, right? Because I really enjoyed it. I want to support this local artist, and she's an awesome person. What she made was really beautiful. But yeah,
consider it added for me too.
There's like a nebulous, kind of rating scale that we have that makes it a purple, and it's just when all the buttons click, and maybe this was just one button away, so it's like in between a green and purple, but we can't do that, so it's just green. It's good to go. It's added to my library. You guys should add it to yours too. That was Emily. That was the accidentals. It was someone.
Emily is already a FastTrack top tier artist, and she's got one from this EP in the playlist.
And I figure that I need to listen to all of this.
yeah, me too. It's going in the library.
Yeah, I think I can add that actually. See, add to library. I'll listen to that later, Emily. That was really awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Oh wow, we got a shouts out to the people running the stream in the background, Jason C and Enrique Nino. We got some more live submissions that are coming through. That's crazy. All right, so we want to go to the next one, Citrus Sunday Fade.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. He's stuck in my head, Emily. Stuck in my head. Good track. Whoa. Okay, I think I'm gonna like this already. I like the sound of it. All right, so Citrus Sunday Fade. Finished release, single for the album First Light. This song is about the loss of a person in your life. Deep. All right, Josh, you ready?
Ready.
Oh, this album art, is this a volcano? What's going on here?
It's cool.
Looks cool. All right, so it's Fade, right? Yeah. Yep, Fade. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Crunchy guitar.
Real crunchy.
The
things that you see are only fantasy. But the truth as it moves, so don't fill yourself up with doubt. Remember life. Remember memories with time. Just because they are gone doesn't mean you can't go on. Just tell me what's wrong, and it'll all go away. Close your eyes, and I'll fade away. Yes, I'll fade away. I'll fade away. Remember life. Remember memories with time. Just because they are gone doesn't mean you can't go on. Just tell me what's wrong, and it'll all go away. Close your eyes, and I'll fade away. Yes, I'll fade away. I'll fade away. I'll fade away. Fade away. Yes, I'll fade away. I'll fade away. I'll fade away. Fade away. Yes, I'll fade away. I'll fade away.
Oh, they're fading away.
I know.
I'll fade away. Ooh. Da, 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 da. Oh, that was dope.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, that was Fade. Excuse me, sorry. Fade by Citrus Sunday. I think it said Theory Dropouts on it though. Oh no, that's the next one. Sorry, that was Fade by Citrus Sunday. Dude, right away that gave me, like kind of reminded me of a couple bands. Have you heard of someone called The Pillows? They're actually
No.
a Japanese, like a J-rock band.
Huh.
Like that kind of crunchy guitar sound. I love that shit. And that
Interesting.
reminded me of that. The way that the vocals sounded, it was kind of like Foo Fighters reminiscent for me. The way that it was, the delay was on it.
I can see that.
I really dug that.
I got more of like a '90s like Stone Temple Pilots vibe or something, or
Ooh,
like one of
that's
those '90s sort of grunge rock bands or something.
For sure. Yeah, that kind of nailed it actually.
Although Foo Fighters come from that place in that era, anyways.
Yeah. And I mean, as you can see, we love that shit over here. So yeah. that was sweet. Josh, do you have kind of vibes? You want to start it with the traffic lights here?
Yeah, I mean, you saw us both vibing along. It got better as it went on too. Like towards the end, it got more and more fun. And I think the fade out was executed well. Of course, there's a fade on a song called Fade, which makes sense, and I like that. Kind of a meta touch there, and yeah, overall, just I think you guys seem to have a really good energy and kind of know your sound pretty well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I would give green to vibes for sure, absolutely. Do we want to let's go through each of them so we
let's do it.
All right. So then content, I would say there were definitely some lyrical parts that I liked a lot, and I think the writing is good too. Like it's got a good song structure. It didn't really bore. It's like 4.5 minutes, but it didn't really bore me at any point, I wouldn't say. It's got a very driving groove. I like the chord progressions and everything, and the way it kind of dovetails that chord progression in the last chorus and everything. Then with production, the thing that I have to be totally honest here, because if we're going to be useful for feedback, then we have to be honest. The guitar is the part that needs the most work by far.
What?
Yes. So I mean that
Damn.
comes from me as a guitarist and a rock guy myself, but
I like
time
that.
there were some timing issues throughout the whole song with that guitar, and there were a couple parts that come in and there's just like missing the beat by like a 16th note sometimes, which
I
needs to
thought
be
that was
fixed.
I thought that was the drummer.
It was both. So I think it was the fact I don't know if they recorded at the same time in the same room, or if they
Mm-hmm.
recorded the drums without a click track, or maybe
Yeah.
even with a click track. But I was going to say I think there was some slight time variation happening with the drums too
Yep.
throughout, which like it's fine to not use a click track if everybody can stay synced up. But
Yeah.
if you can't stay synced up, you got to use a click, or you got to record enough times to where the timing is spot on. Or do the evil industry thing of actually correcting timing in the box.
Yeah, bro. Ableton
um,
Live, real good at that. Real good at
right.
that.
But the best thing to do is just to record in sections until everything is on the dot. But there was I heard some major timing issues with that guitar, and it might
Yeah.
have also been partly because I think the guitar was a little bit forward in the mix, which like I liked it because like you want a lot of guitars and you want it to be in your face with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just sort of the ratio of like that guitar to the bass and the drums could maybe be improved a little bit,
Yeah.
just by a hair. So the timing with the guitar, and honestly, again, somebody who listens to a lot of rock and is a guitarist myself, I think that guitar tone is a little bit too sort of crunchy, like digital crunchy, but not like organic overdrive crunchy, if that makes sense. So there's a thing where like digital modeling amps have gotten pretty good today to where they can model even distortion with pretty good accuracy, and it sounds like natural and organic, and it kind of everything blends together very well. But historically, digital distortion has artifacts and has problems where it just sounds kind of hairy or sort of like discontinuous or something. And it's just it might be because of bit rate and dynamic range and processing power and whatever. But I don't know if that's the case. If this was a digital thing, but or just that it was too loud or the way it was mixed or whatever. But I think the guitar tone was a little bit too hairy for my taste, if that makes sense. I would just compare to your reference tracks, like whoever you look up to that you want to try to sound like, compare your guitar tones, because I can tell you like a lot of that grunge stuff from the 90s or 2000s rock or whatever have very grungy, fuzzy, grainy guitar tones, but there might be some difference in the sort of overall sonic signature. So that's just something to consider. But that's my production notes. And I would give it a yellow on production because there's definitely some stuff that needs to be worked on there.
Yeah, I didn't know where to put the timing issues. I didn't know if that was vibe because, like, it's funny because you gravitated to saying the guitar might have been off, and I was like, no, it's the drums. And the point is the pocket. They're not syncing. So
Right.
that's the main issue. And for me, like that held this song back from like really shining because I think a lot of the pieces are there for really really good song.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
like the way that it's written, it's arranged. I loved the bridges. I loved the chorus. I loved the verses. I loved all of it. I personally thought the guitars sound fine. I'm not a guitarist, but for me, like if I were to guess a reference track, and it's kind of obscure. Like I was thinking, like I said, the Pillows, or maybe like Asian Kung Fu Generation. If you guys are into that, these are like J rock bands, but they have that really, Josh is saying, hairy, distorted kind of smashed sounding guitars, and I thought personally, like I like that. But yeah, for me, the biggest thing was the timing issues. So I kind of put that in vibe because it's kind of like pocket. I don't know if it belongs in vibe content or whatever, but yeah, I'll put it in vibe for this one. For me, it's a yellow because like it just really does hold it back. Like to really kind of jam, like I kind of have to like wonder which thing am I going with? Am I going with the drums and I going with the guitar? And for me, I went to the guitar and I thought that the kick was coming in really early on every beat or something. So yeah, that's the biggest comment. I think the vocals were really good. The performance was awesome. Like it got me singing along. Da, 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 da. Like you did that little slide, super cool. Made
Yeah.
me want to reproduce it right after you said it. So that was awesome. I thought the effects on the vocals were really awesome. I thought the guitar sounded really good. Um, the drums. So for content, I think it's green, like all the way. I think it's a really well written song. For production, I'm gonna kind of focus on the drums. So in the beginning, there was like a change in how the balance was going around. Like in the beginning, I had comments of I can't really hear the snare like punch through. Or the kick, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
maybe you can try to slap a compressor on that, make the transient come through, and then bring out the rest of that uh, timbre of the after sound of the kick and the snare to really, let it poke through the mix a little bit better." But then at the end, it was like the snare was coming through really well, really punchy. So I don't know what kind of changes were happening there in the mix, but yeah, it
I mean,
evolved.
just on that point, I know people sometimes like it can be useful actually to do a lot of your mixing at the loudest parts of the song, and a lot of people do that, I think. But you just have to make sure that every point of the song sounds right. And the solution to that is automation. So I know it's not fun. I know it adds extra work, but every track that you hear on the radio ever has some form of automation.
Yep.
If something doesn't, if it sounds right at one point of the song, don't necessarily believe that it sounds right at every point, especially if you've got dynamic sections that are totally different from each other.
Yeah.
Just go back and experiment with changing a knob around, and if it sounds better, just automate that change gradually throughout the song, or starting at a certain section, stopping at a certain section, whatever. That can go a long way.
Yeah, isn't that kind of crazy that to automate it kind of means like in the DAW term, like you have to click in and do a manual change instead of having the compressor just work the same the whole time. It's
Yeah,
weird.
that's true.
But
There
yeah,
are some, there's some smart stuff out there now. Like a lot of isotope stuff can do some crazy things automated. Waves has a vocal rider plugin where it'll actually automate like writing a level on a track. But yeah, do you have any more production notes? I agree with your drum comments.
No production. Nah, that was the only thing. Everything else I really enjoyed. I really enjoy the sound. I really enjoy the sound of you guys. Like, I'm really getting into. I love anime intro type rock, J rock kind of stuff, and this really like tickles my fancy a little bit. So I think I would love to like see you guys play and just listen to the rest of your stuff because it's my style, and hopefully some of the pocket issues aren't propagated with the other songs. But yeah, like this was really enjoyable. My track total, I think it needs to be developed, so it's a yellow for me. But yeah, I really like the style. This is cool.
Yep. Yeah. Same for me. Just a couple of things to work on, but the energy is so there. Like especially towards the end, it just feels like, damn, I really want this to be, just perfected so that it's ready for a mass audience. Because like that's what people kind of expect. There's a lot of music out there, and they're only going to listen if yours is the best. So I'm excited to hear more from these guys, and I would love to see them live at some point.
Yeah, I think I'm going to follow them actually because I definitely 57 monthly. That's crazy. You guys are just starting out or something, but yeah, that's awesome. All right,
Awesome.
that was Citrus Sunday Fade. Thank you for the submission. Super cool. We'll go ahead and move to the next people, which is the Theory Dropouts. Circle Back featuring Emily. Work in progress. Let me go ahead and put it in the right tab real quick, and I can read what they submitted us. Make sure that it loads. Perfect. Okay, so the Theory Dropouts. It's called Circle Back featuring Emily, the Emily we all know and love, the soon-to-be lead single, of this Dropouts upcoming EP, Circle Back. It brings themes of growth and self-sufficiency in the form of a stripped-down acoustic duet between the band's lead singer Celine and fellow Peoria-based artist Emily. Dude, what is up with Peoria and having all this talent?
I know.
What the heck? That's insane. I gotta make it down there to Peoria and just say what's up to everybody. That's awesome. Okay, but this is Circle Back featuring Emily. It's a work in progress. Did they state any way we can help out? Maybe a specific? No. So we'll give you our general kind of tips and what we would change if we were working on the project with you guys. It's a work in progress, but yeah. Without further ado, Circle Back. 3, 2, 1.
and sudden. You don't deserve that. Maybe it's okay. I put my feelings back in the box they came in. Maybe it's alright that I can take some time to realize just where I am. If I am known inside my mind, then maybe I'll be fine. Would you believe me if I said I wasn't like this
Emily.
just a year ago? Now I don't know what had happened, but I think I'd like to bring back the girl I used to know. Where'd she go? The girl whose walls were up so high, they had to climb. Maybe it's okay to put my feelings back in the box they came in. Maybe it's alright that I can take some time to realize just where
That's nice.
Yeah.
I am. If I am known inside my mind, then maybe I'll be fine. Girl whose walls were up so high, they had to climb. Maybe it's okay to put my feelings back in the box they came in. Maybe it's alright that I can take some time to realize just where I am. If I am known inside my mind, I am known inside my mind. I am strong inside my mind. I know that I'll be fine.
Oh, that was an abrupt ending.
It must be the file. It seems like it might be in progress. Work in progress.
I know
A
that
little bit
I'll
of a
be
cutoff.
fine. Dude,
But wow.
that sounded like a Disney princess song. Like I felt like I was
Well,
watching a Disney movie. It's good. Like it was cinematic. Like
yeah.
that
I
was
think
cool.
I like the fact that it's like a vibe or a genre or subgenre, whatever, that we haven't heard yet. I always love when we hear something that's like totally new. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And angelic voices. Absolutely awesome. You guys
Yeah.
nailed all the harmonies. The
Yes,
vocal performance.
both
Yeah.
really good voices, and they work together well. Good vocal
Ooh.
performances.
Sheesh. Yeah.
All right,
Josh, you
go
want
to
to
it?
go through? Yeah, go through it.
Sure. Yeah. So vibes. I'm realizing like pretty much all of the music that we get on here. You can just tell that everybody is so like inspired. You know what I mean? Like everybody so
They're really good
knows-
artists.
Yeah, that's the artistry part, which is like
There's no problem there.
It's like if you have that, the sky is the limit. Aside from all this other stuff that we get into with technicalities of whether it be production or even with writing, those are things that can just be honed, improved, or you find people that can help you out with those. But the artistry, if you have that, is the first step, and it's great to see that like so many of these submissions do.
Yeah, Peoria is crazy.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Vibes is definitely a green for me.
Yep.
Uh, and then for content, there were some lyric parts in there too that also hit pretty hard that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
Very real,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and like I love that progression or whatever the little line that goes sort of jumping around, do like that whole thing.
Oh.
Just
Oh,
throughout like
of the guitar or the.
yeah, the guitar
Okay.
thing is
Okay. Okay.
just kind of complex and cool.
Mm.
So
Oh.
I like the writing a lot in the sections. The only thing with content, I guess, that kind of like arrangement sticks out was that the dropout section at the end. I thought it was just a little bit awkward the way that the other instruments stepped out. Like I would just like don't do that downbeat note or whatever, or do it in a different way. When you do those dropouts, the drop needs to be sudden, or else it feels awkward. And that's usually I think what we hear in songs where there's dropout parts, like it sort of builds and then drops out. Um, if it's sort of not building and then it drops out, it's like a little bit awkward. It's got to maintain energy or increase energy and then drop out, because then it sort of catches the listener. Otherwise, it's just like, why is the train slowing down? As opposed to, whoa, like the train crashed. This is interesting.
Yeah.
So that's sort of one suggestion. And like when it came back in, maybe that could be improved a little bit too. But content, I would still give a green to, because I think overall it's written well and structured well. A couple of things that could be developed in there.
Yep.
And then with production, again, the thing that I heard the most was with timing. So I heard some mismatch between the timing of the guitar and timing of the bass and some of the percussive stuff that was happening in the background. They just, at a lot of points, they weren't completely synced. And that's like in some cases actually one of the more difficult things to do, because if you're having trouble getting it timed right the first time, it may still be difficult to get it timed right re-recording it or whatever. That's kind of a hard challenge, but like that's just musicianship, not to like put it bluntly or whatever, but that's something that needs to be worked on. And if the timing doesn't sync up, it's like it doesn't sound cohesive. So the timing was one part, and then the guitar, I love the way the guitar was recorded. Like the recording, the actual sonic element sounds fantastic. There's so much detail and rich low end, and it's just like really, really good acoustic guitar recording. But I didn't feel that same presence that was in the acoustic guitar as I did in the vocals. And I almost wonder if the reverb maybe that was applied to them was applied to the tracks themselves rather than on like a separate outbound bus, because that could cause some of that sort of wetness or whatever to flood over the vocal and not make it as present. Normally you'd want to have the dry vocal signal still present in the track and then send it to a bus. You can control the volume of it that way and then put that in a full reverb, like 100% wet mix reverb, and pan it to the sides or do something so that the presence is retained. That would be the main thing. Or also just some vocal leveling stuff, because I think the acoustic guitar was the loudest part. Everything else was kind of behind that. So
yeah. Were you saying, so you, I might have heard something wrong. Did you say the guitar was missing presence or the vocals were missing presence?
The vocals were missing presence. The guitar was very present. It's right in the front of the mix the whole time.
Okay.
But the other stuff is like, the other stuff is like a few feet behind. And it could be because there's a reverb that's washing over the vocals. Or it could just be because the levels aren't loud enough, compression, EQ, whatever. But try and do something to push those both to the front so they can, or even push the guitar back a little bit. Vocals should be the thing that's more central.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. Yeah, I think you'd hit almost everything nail on the head with what I would say. Yeah, vibes for me, it's total green. Like I enjoyed this. I was like imagining like a little, it sounded like a Disney princess song where two different girls were like singing to each other about self-growth and how they've broken down all these walls, but sometimes they just want to retreat back into the walls. And
that could be a monetization opportunity.
Yeah. If you guys are in a Disney movie, like remember us, okay? Remember us little guys outside of Peoria. But yeah, that was a total green. I enjoyed all of it. Writing was superb. And I think with the arrangement, I'll go into content as well. kind of with what Josh was saying, what I got from it in terms of the story, you guys were talking about your emotions, and from what I heard, it was like being vulnerable, and you were able to break down the walls that you had and put yourself out there. But sometimes you want to just go back in, and then at the end, it's like, but I'll be fine, and it's kind of like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And I think the abrupt ending would have matched better if it was like the vocal and the emotion in the vocal was like, but I'll be fine. Like it's like a nice like, oh yeah, I'm okay. But it still had that like kind of somberness to it, and then it was like an abrupt ending. So there was a mismatch that I had, and so maybe one, you can keep the somber kind of performance because it sounds good at the end, and then just kind of let the tails of all the audio just work their way out to final silence, and then you can give that final space in the track some more room instead of an abrupt stop. Or maybe it was just a mistake, I don't know. But if you go the other route, like a real thing or a mistake.
It sounded like it was just the audio bounce or whatever. Might have not gotten bounced to the right point.
Yeah, we might be talking about over a moot point, but yeah. And for me, the loudest thing was the guitar, and I did hear a lot of detail. I could literally hear the fingers like sliding around. It's like treat, like all those clicks and stuff. And I was like, man, this is a really hard sounding guitar part. Like it sounded really complex, really good. And I think just maybe I could hear a lot of mess ups, and I think I'm personally a fan of I don't want to say messy, but like kind of imperfect performances, because it makes the performance human, and sometimes it just puts in stuff like those fingers sliding around and like maybe muffling a note a little bit. It just kind of puts a special kind of attribute on the track, and I like that. Yeah. But the guitar was just really upfront, and it just kind of made me focus on that when I was trying to listen for the vocals at the same time. So I would personally try to push the guitars back in the mix as well, just as what Josh was saying. I think he hit the nail on the head pretty well. Better than I could say. But yeah, so for vibes, it was green. Content, it was green. And production, I think it was yellow to green. Maybe just yellow. Just because the guitar was kind of distracting. But yeah, beautiful song, dude. That was awesome. Overall track total, what do you think, Josh?
I'm gonna say it's between a yellow and a green for me.
Same.
Just because there's some. I think the production stuff is pretty important.
Yep.
It's not even just like mixing production. Some of it might be recording stuff. And I agree with your comment about the sort of impromptu like feel or whatever. Like I like that a lot. And it feels like it wants to have that. But that can only be done if the timing actually aligns. And that's like you could find examples of that style. I can guarantee you the timing aligns. So it's like the impromptu-ness translates to some elements of it and some of the playing style, whatever, but not to like do the downbeats of like the guitar and the bass line, because that always has to be pretty close.
Yep.
So yeah, I would give it a yellow to green.
Same.
Lots that I love about it a lot. And a couple things that can be improved if it wants to be the best it possibly can be.
Yep, I think it's yellow to green for me too. I hope that this helps with your guys' work in progress. And dude, I really, really enjoyed this. And you guys should pitch this to Disney or something, man. Like this is cool. Yeah. I hope you guys could like fit a story behind it or something, because that was awesome. I think it definitely has that kind of potential. Great work. Carl Mann also says, I can see this in a Disney movie, no doubt, with some snowflakes frozen, maybe. But yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll go to our last track here. We have Icarus, Survivors, another work in progress. There is no description, though, but it's by Icarus. Let me just go ahead and paste it real quick. Google Drive link. Josh, do you have it pulled up?
I do.
All right, so Survivors, 3, 2, 1, boom. Nice build up.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Damn.
I like these plucks.
Ballers can't compare with this Gucci wristband. I walk in the club with a couple grand. Fucking with my bamboo, I made you a fan too. Now you should've thought about it if you should've ran too.
I don't like fights, I don't like war, but I'm survivor. I miss my dogs,
Who's that?
I don't know.
home, but I'm far away. I just want to come back to those days when I was just a girl, you was a girl. Hey, oh, those days, those dreams. I just want to come back to go.
I'm a big boss and you a tiny man. You ain't got no plan, you ain't got no plan. Now get this man a hand, now get this man a hand. See, I got a plan, I think you understand. I think you understand. It's about $1 million grand. I tell you to call your friend, I tell you to call a friend. Now where is your plan? Now where is your plan? I don't understand, I don't understand.
This beat's crazy.
Yeah.
The energy of the vocals are cool too.
I don't like fights, I don't like war, but I'm survivor. I miss my dogs, I miss my home, but I'm far away. I just want to come back to those days when I was just a girl, you was a girl. Hey, oh, those days, those dreams. I just want to come back, to go back, to come back. I'm missing out. I just want to things get better. I'm missing out. I'm missing out. I just want to things get better.
Oh, this is crazy.
Holy shit.
Oh, this brings me back.
I was waiting for this.
Woo! That was a ride for sure.
Whoa.
Dude, the producer on that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I need some information here. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
the beat was magnificent. The beat
Oh,
was
man.
fucking magnificent. That was
That's cool.
awesome. Yeah. What do you think, Josh? Vibes?
Man, yeah, I mean, dude, vibes are fucking 100%. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah, energy.
I have so many questions right now, though. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was saying that the vibes were super high energy. This is festival shit. Get rowdy shit at a festival.
Yeah.
With the rapper, he brought it. With the female vocalist, she brought it too. I do have a question about like the beats. To me, it sounded like this beat was made without the intention of having vocals on it, and
Yeah.
that maybe mixing them could make them sound a little more present. And we can get into that. But with vibes, like this is high energy. This is festival shit. This reminded me of like my old EDM dubstep kind of days, and it
Yeah.
was super cool. So vibes, I think, is a green. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, definitely love the vibes. I have the same questions about like my best guess is that this is probably a beat that was found somewhere and already had that female vocalist on it. Unless I'm wrong,
right.
because if that's the case, whoever that is should be famous, or I'm just being ignorant and that's already somebody who's famous, or just somebody who's on a stock beat. But
Yeah,
whoever the hell that female vocalist is, and whoever the producer is that did the auto tune and mixing on that.
yeah,
That shit is like perfect.
Yeah.
My sense is that this is a beat that was found somewhere, probably with that on it already, maybe.
Yep.
And it feels to me my producer ears are hearing some artifacting stuff. Like maybe this was an MP3 or an MP4 at some point. It feels like there's, MP3s do all sorts of crazy psychoacoustic compression stuff. Like, was this perhaps downloaded from YouTube or somewhere, or has it gone through some? That's just what I'm hearing, because there is a distinct sound that you get when things go through the MP3 compression process, and then when they go through the YouTube compressor and decompressor. It's a fairly, like, YouTube has its own sort of sound, if you think about it that way.
Yep.
But sure. So I don't know if that's true or not, but or maybe just compression was applied afterwards. But it's definitely lacking some dynamic range throughout. That's production side, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, the vibes are cool, but I don't know. It gives me a lot of questions about sort of where the source material is from, and if it's original or if it's just kind of like most of the beat was already there, and then some rap was added over it. But I like the energy a lot.
Yeah, I think that's I'm going to operate under that assumption. I think the beat and the female vocalist, I think that sounds like a pretty much made, done deal, ready to go, and really, really good. And so I'll probably pay my most attention for content to the rap vocalist. And this is like what I do, right? I also take beats, sometimes in the early stage from YouTube, but sometimes I'll license the beats and stuff like that. But then you have the challenge of trying to mix in-ear vocals with a beat that was made to just sound good without vocals in there. You have to do a lot of different things to really make sure that your vocals just don't sound like they're sitting on top of the track, or two, completely buried by the track. And I think in this case it was kind of buried, and it's a shame, because I hear the rap performance and the energy and the lyrical content of stomping people's face out and stuff. Like, it totally matched the energy, and it was super, super dope. I think with performance, some things, I think as you kept going in the later, at the tail end of the bars, where you're trying to get a point where you have a next breath, I think the vocal delivery gets a little shaky, so you might want to re-record some of that. But the energy is there, and I think the lyrical content is there too. Now you just need to find the hard part of kind of mixing that together. So for content, I think I'm going to operate, based on the assumption it's the rap vocalist. I think it's like a yellow to orange, which is like, between yellow and red. I think that you should try to punch in those end of the line bars, because they do sound a little bit shaky. And it's probably because you're trying to keep the energy up the whole time. But yeah, that just comes with re-recording and re-practicing. But I think the source material, what you have, is pretty dope so far, and you bring a good energy that's hard to find. Yeah, so production wise, I think for mixing in a vocal on this kind of track, you really kind of have to do some dynamic EQing on the beat itself. So I kind of explained this earlier, but as a vocalist, first, you want to kind of roll off the low end. You don't need any of that junk for vocals. And then secondly, you want to try to find the EQ zone in which your voice kind of is the most present and is most intelligible for rap lyrics. You want to know what the lyrics are being said. Typically, it's like 1K to 10K, really. At 1K to maybe 8K or something.
It's a wide range.
Yeah, it's a wide range.
It's somewhere in there, but it depends on the individual.
Yeah, for me, it's
that's like half of the audible spectrum, though. 1K to 10K.
Yeah, let me narrow it, because like 8K is where you get the S sound, so that's pretty, like, it's not there. It's like 1 to 5.
It's like 1 to 5. Yeah,
it's like 1 to 5K. So you find the range there, 1 to 5K, that your vocals like just really sound good. You can do that by just like soloing that EQ band and then say like, oh, okay, my vocals sound really good here. And you take that EQ band and then you put it on a dynamic EQ on the beat, and then you duck it. And so I'll go over what dynamic means, but you duck the beat in that EQ range such that when you put your vocals in, your vocals will just, fill that gap that you ducked, essentially. And so that way you get an effect where the beat sounds like natural. It's like surrounding your voice from a frequency perspective, and your voice kind of just sits into the beat nicely, kind of like the female vocals did. Like, it sounded like it was part of the track.
Yeah,
and we could tell. So what dynamic does is it ducks the beat in that EQ range in real time in response to how loud your vocals are. And so when your vocals come in and it's like, okay, this is the main verse, you really want to make sure that the beat is ducking pretty high. Like it's really pushing down the volume there so your voice can squeeze in. That's what the dynamic EQ is doing. And so it's kind of like sidechaining, but yeah, it's with a specific EQ band. So yeah, that's the kind of advice I'd give you from my perspective. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a super good tip for when you're working with something that you don't have a whole lot of control over, like a whole ass prepackaged beat. Which that's
Which is good.
my personal opinion is like, if you're making music, you shouldn't be just getting the whole goddamn music from somebody that you don't even know and then putting your vocals on top of it. Like,
hey, for
you
rap
don't.
mixtape, it's so dude.
Yeah, but like if you're trying to pop off and be a real artist, like none of the shit that you hear on the radio from your favorite artists is like that. It's all like they have a producer and they work with the producer. And sampling is totally cool. Like you should get parts of things, even if it's like the central, like the centerpiece of your beat is based off of a sample. But you need to add your own stuff around. Like I almost feel like there's a counterintuitive thing of it's easier in many cases to get a good sounding song when you add more of your own stuff to it rather than only relying off of the sample beat, because then it allows you to sort of obscure, like it becomes obvious to the listener when everything is sort of like has one sonic footprint or spectrum, and then your vocal is like sort of sticking out in the middle, and it's like, oh, the rest of this shit was just taken from somewhere else. Versus like if you have that as a foundation, a beat that you get, and then you add an additional like bass line component to it or something, or at least one extra instrument, or you add more backing vocals. You need to add something on top of it so that it kind of creates like a landscape of sound rather than just a flat platform with your voice on top of it. Ducking is a good way to sort of like put your vocals into that sort of flat landscape by creating a divot in the middle and putting your vocal, ducking your vocal down into it, and now everything is on the same plane. But if you want your track to sound more dynamic and like a real song, you should try to add at least a couple of things, whether it's just backing vocals or whether it's one extra instrument or two extra instruments on top of it. It can really go a long way in making something that sounds personalized and not like you're going to go somewhere and hear another track using the exact same beat and it's just a different person singing or rapping on it. You know, I know there's whole genres of people on the internet that just do that, but if you're trying to sort of get a wider fan base that are not just between other SoundCloud rappers and fans of only that genre, then you really need to add some of your own secret sauce to the mix.
But I want to push back on that because
I know it's in that genre it's perfectly fine, accepted, but that's just my personal opinion is like, don't be lazy, don't just take one beat and just put your vocals on it. Make some music, add some of your own stuff to it, because again, it sucks when you go out there and you hear somebody else's track that's like 90% the same DNA as yours and you don't even know them, you know, or you haven't even worked with the same producer.
Ooh,
I don't know.
now I'll really push back on it. I think it's legitimate. It's legitimate. The reason why I push back on it is because my biggest song on YouTube, and it depends. Like, don't go doing that. What Josh said, like taking someone's beat without their permission and then monetizing it. That I think is a huge thing. Or like, you know, passing it off as your own. Of course, that's not what you should do. But, you know, as a growing artist, one of the things you can do to really, you know, kickstart your fan base is to find a beat that you think is really, really cool, which this guy probably did, and then try to, you know, write lyrics over it or something. Give all the credit where it's due. Tag the person that they're in, you know, and if they say take it down, but just don't monetize it. It's not yours, right? Unless you have their permission. But yeah, like me personally, my biggest song is like of this same kind of type. It's Eternal Youth by Rude, and so I did this. But like, you know, I got to be able to do the dynamic EQ. I just knew about it, so it sounds, you know, a little bit more cohesive. And also, when you're choosing the beat, like sometimes beats naturally have that space for you to kind of play around in. Because when you do the ducking, you lose that frequency content in the beat. So like you automatically you don't do it for free. Like there's always something that's lost. And so with this kind of beat, with EDM, my experience, all the frequencies are like brick walled. Like they really try to get it as loud as possible, and they just do that by making sure all the frequency ranges are just, it's like a wall of sound coming at you. And that's hard for someone that's trying to put rap vocals over it, because like Josh said, it's like a brick wall, and then your lyrics are on top of it, and then maybe you can do some EQing to like make your lyrics fit in, but it's still like a brick wall. But I think I want to push back because I did that, and the artist actually heard it, and the artist liked it. He offered me to collab as well,
Yeah,
which is
that's sweet.
like, dude. So I would push back personally. I think Josh does have a good point though. Like, there's definitely a wrong way to do that, so don't do it the wrong way. But yeah, that's our take on it.
Yeah, I think it's more about it's about the output that you get, the sound output, rather than the process. And like, if you can take something like that and make it all meld together and fit, and ideally make it your own a little bit, so nobody can accidentally rip you off or whatever, or like you accidentally rip somebody else off, where it's fairly indistinguishable from something else that somebody else makes. Totally fine to use a beat, but yeah, definitely just playing around with making things fit a little better is important for that.
Yeah, and to Josh's point too, like, I think this, like, no matter how good you get it to sound, just because if it is, and we're operating on this big assumption, but we're pretty much sure just because of how it sounds. If it is this case where it's someone else's beat and then you put your vocals on it, it's probably never going to be something that's like a stream thing on Spotify. It's probably like a YouTube thing or like a mixtape thing, something that is not going to be monetized, something that's not going to be in the mainstream, but it could really gain a lot of attention still. So
yeah, it's just like, what are your goals as an artist? Like, are you trying to be the next big thing, or like you just like making music and you think it sounds good and you want to put it out there? Is it a means to maybe grow your fan base and then have hits that are more eligible to sort of pop off on regular streaming platforms? It's just questions to ask yourself. But yeah.
So yeah, I think for overall track total, I think there does need a lot of work done. I do think that the rapper himself, though, I think he brought a lot of energy. For me, that's the biggest thing with rap and hip hop, because a lot of the times you don't even need to know what they're saying. Like, a lot of the times, like in terms of mumble rap, people call it. Like, I love that kind of shit, and it's all about flow and energy. And so I think you have it. It's just production, and performance. I think it was shaky a little bit. So I think it's worth a re-record, and that's why I think it's in the orange range. So yeah, what about you, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, with like you said, with the categories, I would say like the vibes. I dug it again. Like, it had a great energy. I really did like those backing vocals, the female vocals that were on the track, and good artistry too. I would give it a green for vibes, and then content, yellow to green. Like, some stuff could be added to make it a little bit more original, or I don't know, just sort of like interest the listener more. Maybe it's just because we're aware that it's like a beat with. It seems like it's probably a beat with a vocal on it. Maybe we're totally wrong. Maybe it's not.
Yeah. Okay. If it's wrong, then the beat / producer guy, he did great, except for mixing the rap vocals.
Oh, like, I was gonna say. By the way, your tip about like cutting low end from vocals, totally true. You should do that to most of your instruments, but you have to be careful where you cut it off, because it did sound a little bit band restricted to me, actually. This one, a little bit telephony sort of. So just make sure that you don't band pass things too tightly. But yeah, and then for production, I would probably give it a red for redo. I just think that it's like, there's definitely a lot of work that needs to be done on the production side. The beats produced fine. It is a little bit compressed and a little bit artifacty, but that sounds fine to me. It's just vocal production, making it all fit together, maybe adding some stuff. And then my track total would be a developed. It's just keep going, keep up with the process, try new things, work with new people, like all that stuff.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for that submission, though, Icarus. That was pretty dope. That was a work in progress, so I hope that you can implement those changes, and we'd love to hear what the finished product sounds like. But yeah, I think that's the last song, so thank you, everybody, for joining us. That was FastTrack Feedback Fridays. Sorry about the... in the beginning, we just had issues upon issues. I don't know what was going on, but we'll try to fix things on our end. Thank you very much. Josh, do you have anything to say?
Again, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks to everybody who submitted songs. I say this pretty much anytime, but like, the point of this stream is just to help you guys out. we can be a little bit harsh at times, but we're just
Yeah.
trying to give feedback that we can from our experience as music makers ourselves, and critical listeners, and just outside perspectives, people that haven't been making the music ourselves, so we get to give a real even first impression.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, and I gotta go in a second here, but
No
back with family.
Yep.
One thing that I wanted to plug is actually two things. First thing, if you guys have friends that make music, please have them send us tracks.
Yes.
I know that you guys have friends that make music, because nobody who's a musician doesn't have musician friends usually. So the link is up on the chat right there somewhere, or up on the overlay. Please submit songs for next week. Every week we're going to be on here. We've got some good guests coming up that should offer some really useful feedback from their professional experience. So that's thing one. Thing two, group chat. Our friends who I know went to school with, they have a gig. Their first gig actually is tomorrow at, I think, Tampa Euclid Skate Park, I think is where it's at. So if anybody's in like the area, Chicago suburbs, I think it's Mount Prospect, check them out at that. They would appreciate it. And
yeah, they
I think that's all I've got. You got anything else, Chris?
No, that's it from me. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
We will see you next Friday.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.